Action.
So I wake up every morning and I check the IU Police Department crime log and the Bloomington Police Department crime log, and I message all the editors and I say this is what's going on. I check all the different news sources to make sure we didn't miss anything, and the entire day we kind of just get content in, edit it, send it back, work with the writers, work with the reporters to get the stories out that we need.
Mm-hmm. We do content planning every week, so we have an idea of what stories get published every day. So we just go through and talk to each of the editors and the writers to make sure that everything is on schedule per usual. So yeah.
So we usually start off by asking, budget update anyone? And a lot of times people are able to come in person, but sometimes they'll just send it over Slack. And pretty much what we're asking them is we're looking at our content planning, which has a list of all the stories that we have planned for that day. And we'll go through and say, where is the story right now? Is it being edited? Is it being fact checked? Is it time for us to look at it? And that's kind of how we keep track of everything and make sure that we have visuals for it, that everyone is on the same page.
We edit for a lot of things. We edit for AP style and for our own style here at IDS. We edit for content. We edit for just grammar and clarity and making sure that the articles actually make sense and read clearly. But also beyond that, we edit to make sure that articles are wording things in an appropriate way. And if it's a more serious article or a more sensitive issue, we want to make sure that things are being represented fairly. So we edit for a whole variety of stuff. It kind of depends on whatever the article is.
Yeah, so that's something I think we're always working on. Something we always go back to is kind of just some core basic news reporting and journalism things of just making sure all the most important information is at the top and that things are in active voice and they're easy to understand. I think that's a really big one. A lot of times people come in with very academic writing styles, which I think is really great, but in a journalistic sense, you want everyone to be able to understand it, regardless of how much education they have, if they're used to reading stuff like that. And so I think a lot of it is simplifying things down, but always we want to respect people's own personal choices, especially in opinion columns, which I think you can be a little bit more fluid with.
I think it basically just comes down to having conversations with writers, and instead of editing and just saying do this, and making changes to everything, instead talking to them and being well, we think you should do this. What do you think about it? And sort of collaborating instead of just telling them what to do.
I mean, it's always difficult. One thing we try to do is we always try to be first to something, and we also try to be first to stuff that we know that we have sources in, and it's our specialty. A lot of administration type stuff. We know that we have some really phenomenal reporters and editors who are used to doing stuff like this, so that's one way we do it. And also just being in touch with our readers, being in touch with people who are invested in the IDS. We get a lot of news tips, things like that. I'm not a big social media person, but I know we have a phenomenal social media team who's also always watching to make sure if there's anything online they see that they think that we should be reporting on. Personally, I feel the goal of the IDS is always to make sure that there's an IDS to continue after. My goal really is we're at the beginning of the year, we have a lot of incoming freshmen, younger editors, to really work with everyone to ensure that when I graduate, I'm a junior, but when I graduate next year, when Tori sadly leaves us at the end of this year, that we have people who can fill the very big shoes she's going to leave behind. So I think definitely preparing everyone for the future.
I want to leave an impact on the newsroom by promoting a culture where everybody is very welcoming to each other and welcome to new ideas. And where people sort of take care of each other and take care of their fellow writers and editors, because it's better for all of us here and it's better for kind of the community if we're all looking out for each other in general. So yeah.
I think it's definitely a good mix. We're really lucky in that our print paper does make us money and is picked up by so many people in the community. We really do have a very successful paper and a very successful online. I don't think one outweighs the other in any way. And so I think for the IDS in particular, we're going to continue doing both, trying to find a good balance, because our goal ultimately is to make sure many members of our community are informed and giving students opportunities. And I think our print and our digital give students opportunities that they need to go out into the workforce.
I think almost everything I've learned, not everything I've learned, but a whole bunch of what I've learned about journalism has come from the IDS. It's because of the IDS that I want to be a reporter after I graduate. It's because of the IDS that I know pretty much everything I do know about journalism. So yeah, it's shaped pretty much my entire college experience. I'm very grateful to the IDS for everything.
Ooh, our mascot would be Andrew Miller, elections reporter. Okay? I know there's not really a great way to like make him a mascot. Like, I mean, there's no costume that you can have, but I think Andrew just embodies everything everyone in the IDS strives to be. And I think he's very representative of all of us.
Him there.
Andrew is right here.
Yeah. Our other
He's
mascot
great.
would also be Vivi the beaver,
Yeah.
who
Art
we
the
wrote,
sloth.
who also Art the sloth. We have a few stuffed animals in the newsroom that we care about very deeply as well. So.
If you want to pursue journalism as a career, the best way is to actually do it. We have a lot of great faculty here, a lot of great classes, but joining student media organization like the Indiana Daily Student or one of our other student media organizations at IU is really the best way to do it. If you want good experience reporting stories that matter, really, getting used to what you'll be doing in the real workforce as a journalist, you should definitely join.
Yeah, I think journalism is one of those things that you learn by doing, and I think we always say that working here, like in the IDS newsroom, is the closest experience you would get in college to being in a professional newsroom. We like to talk about that a lot, so, and they're right. I think it's the best kind of experience you can get when you're in college.
Thank you.
I love you guys. No.
Oh, we love you,
you
Jiya. Put that in the video.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that.
That's off the record, Jacob. That never happened. He's lying.